In this video, we're going to look at indirect proportion. That is when one quantity goes up, another one goes down. For instance, in this case, if we're building a fence, if you double the number of people, you halve the time it takes to build the fence. So let's have a go at this question. It takes 4 people 6 hours to build a fence. How long would it take 3 people to build a fence? So first thing I must do is draw my table down here. Now, where we have 2 bits of information, it goes on the left-hand side. So we know 2 things about the number of people. And that means that the hours must go over here. Okay. Add in the info, so I know it takes 4 people 6 hours. Now I need to know how long would it take 1 person to build this fence. Well, I do that by multiplying my 2 terms in the first row. So 4 times 6. So it would take 1 person 24 hours to build a fence, which makes sense because it's got to take longer than it takes 4 people to build a fence. Lastly, I need to divide to answer the question. So it wants to know how long it takes 3 people. So I'm going to take 24 and divide that by 3. So it takes 8 hours for 3 people to build a fence. Does that make sense? Well, it took 4 people 6 hours, so it should take slightly longer for 3 people to do it. So yes, 8 hours does make sense. Let's look at this second example. Dave has enough food to feed his 3 dogs for 20 days. If he buys 2 more dogs, how long would the dog food now last? So, first I draw my table. Now I need to work out what I have 2 bits of information about. Well, I know he has 3 dogs and then he buys 2 more dogs. So then it'll be 5. So I know 2 things about dogs. So let's put that over here. And I'll put time over here, so how long it lasts. So we know for 3 dogs, it lasts 20 days. Now I need to work out how long it would last if I only had 1 dog. Now remember, to do that, I multiply my 2 values together in the first row. So it would take 1, if we only had 1 dog, it would last for 60 days. Does that make sense? Well, 3 dogs last for 20 days, so if you had less dogs, the food would last for longer. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Now I need to know how long it lasts if he has 2 more dogs. Well, he's got 3 dogs, so add 2 more would mean 5 dogs. And to work out how long that would last is I divide to answer my question. So 60 days for 1 dog, so for 5 dogs I would divide 60 by 5, and I would get that this would be 12 days. Now does that make sense? Well, 3 dogs, it would have lasted for 20 days. Well, he's got more dogs, so it should last for less. So yes, 12 days does make sense.